Hi, thanks for joining me. I'm Yvonne with MyElements, and I'm here today to show you how to make a really easy but very stylish art to wear ring using many beads from your lamp work and your ceramic and your polymer clay collections. All of us have like way lots of beads, and this is a great way, as you can tell, to make a lot of rings in a very quick amount of time. The only bad part is you want to keep them all for yourself, but that's a good thing too. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to use my flex strip, which is available in 12 different colors, plenty of selection, and this RINGz finding. Reminds you of a tiny little barbell. Very cool little clever invention. So to start, we're going to take, you decide first of all what kind of bead you want to use. And this is my bead choice for the day. It's nice and snowy and dull here today, so I thought, well, we'll do something really nice and bright. So you pick out the things that you need, your bead that you need, and the color of flex strip. And the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to do a flush cut across your flex strip. So I just eyeball that, and I'm just going to take my cutters, which are flush cutters. You want to make sure that your jaw is long enough that you can cut this on one cut, because otherwise it's like it's going to be rough looking and you want a nice smooth cut. So I'm just snapping that. That's nice and straight. Then I'm going to take, I have metal punch that I use to put the holes in. This is a 1.5. This works really well. I usually go down about 1/8 of an inch and just center that. Real easy, poke a hole. Then I'm going to take, both sides of these RINGz findings are threaded. So I'm going to take one side, take my ball off, and I always add a little bit of glue to each thing. They're permanent as they are, but I just rather safe than sorry, you know. So I just take a little bit of E6000 in the beginning, and I thread that, not the whole way, just a little bit. It takes 24 hours for that to dry, so you'll have plenty of time to like tighten it up. You don't have to worry about it drying. Then I'm going to take my flat nose pliers. I use 2 pair of them when I make these, and take off the other side. And just lay that around somewhere. So after looking at my bead, I know that that is wide. That is not as wide as my finding, my RINGz finding. So fortunately, I have these lovely little 3mm teeny O-rings in a plethora of different colors. So I already got all my colors together to coordinate this really well. So I knew that I needed 3 on each side. And you just, like I said, these are not permanent until you make them permanent. So you can tweak this, you can like do this a bunch of different ways until you get it exactly the way you want it, which is really nice. You don't have to worry about, making any mistakes, because there's not any mistakes to make. So I'm just going to feed on these little 3mm teeny O-rings. And these things, besides looking good, they're just nice little spacers too. Now I'm going to make this ring for myself. So what I'm going to do is, some people like to use a mandrel. You can use a mandrel if you like. This is a real nice plastic mandrel. And you can wrap it this way and then decide. But for me, most of us, like, we're making these for ourselves. And there's no exact like, oh, this much makes this size ring. It all depends on the bead and how much space the bead takes up. So each one has to be done on an individual basis. So I'm going to put that on my finger, and it's like, okay, that feels good. And I'm just going to sort of put a pressure point there. I'm going to take that off. I'm going to grab my punch again. I'm going to center that. Then I'm going to feed my other end into the hole. And I'm going to get out my E6000 again, and I'm going to put a little dab of glue on the other end. And you only need a really, really small amount. But like I said, I just like being safe. I don't know. When you wear things for a long time and stuff like that, you just never know. So it's like I just would rather make sure that it's nice and sturdy. Then I'm just going to start screwing that onto the thread with my hand. Then I'm going to take 2 of my flat nose pliers, and I'm going to hold one end, and I'm going to tighten. And then I just switch sides. Do the same thing on the other. Do the same thing on the other side. You can feel when you've threaded it in as far as it's going to go, because it stops. And you don't want to, you don't want to pull your threading out. So I've got this. I'm like perfect. So I'm going to go against the bead. I'm going to look on both sides, see how far, it's just one of those eyeball sort of things. I'm going to go up here. It's like, okay, that looks even. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to snap. I'm done. I've got a great little bead there in a really short amount of time. And look at that ring. Is that cool or what? So because you could do these so quickly, it's like, oh, that's so great. Let's make 20 more. So as you can tell, I have made 20, 30, 40, 50 more. Here's some of the different beads that I've used. Porcelain. I like using artisan beads. I just, I have many friends that are great artists, and I love using their work. So I've got porcelain here. This is a button from Czechoslovakia. My plastics, way fun. I have Italian resin here. The nice thing is I just got this Italian resin in. This stuff is wonderful. There's so, like, each side is different. So these, like, you can do a little flip factor, wear it either way. Those are a lot of fun. I've had these dog beads forever. I love that. That's such a cute ring. A friend of mine sent me some vintage buttons from Italy. So how cool are those? Sky's the limit. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you make a lot of rings. Get out your bead hoard and start wearing them and enjoying them. So thanks for joining me here at My Elements, and hope to see you again.